Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Okay, let's look at this next-gen console report. Now, this is interesting. This is real interesting. The rise of the $70 game. This was a discussion in 2005, folks, that we're still having in 2023 as we talk about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom just being announced at $70, and people are up in arms about it. Well, guess what? They were talking about it in 2005. Let's read a little bit of this article. An extra Abe Lincoln for that limited edition copy of Halo 2, another $10 for the 15th anniversary collector's edition of Madden NFL 2005, $5 more for the collectible Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. You may not realize it, but purchasing these special packages did more than reward you with bonuses like making of DVDs and versions of older games. You also participated in a grand experiment to see if consumers would be willing to pay more than $50 for a red-hot console title. And the results thus far? EA sold something like 800,000 of that special Madden and couldn't make enough of them to satisfy demand, says analyst PJ McNeely of American Technology Research. In other words, gamers voted with their dollars and told publishers that they were willing to pay a premium price for a premium game package. So leave it to the publishers to take that idea to the next logical step, charging a premium for Xbox 2, PlayStation 3, and Revolution titles. Next-gen games may not include bonus DVDs or pack-in figurines, but publishers argue that they will feature something even better, incredible visuals and huge amounts of content that will cause production costs to skyrocket. Those are the costs that publishers hope to pass on to consumers, much as rising oil prices lead to increases in the price of gas. Activision has already gone on record saying it will charge at least another $10 for next-gen software. Bobby Kotick, the company's CEO, recently told investors that gamers shouldn't complain. They've been paying $50 for games for over a decade. Movie ticket prices, meanwhile, have steadily risen during the same time frame. Does this mean you won't be able to find games for less than $60 or $70 for the next-gen systems? Hardly. Publishers may try to sell launch titles at such a price because they know early adopters will pay for it, but down the road a higher price isn't going to work for every game. The big blockbusters in our business today, the Halos, the Grand Theft Autos, Maddens, and Dooms, can command a wave of high-end pricing because the fanaticism around the launch of these games is an event. Says Steve Allison, Midway's chief marketing officer. Indeed, one analyst, Michael Patcher of Wedbush Morgan Securities, believes Rockstar left money on the table last fall when it shipped Grand Theft Auto San Andreas for $49 instead of $59. But for all those non-GTA games, Allison believes publishers are kidding themselves if they think consumers won't have sticker shock over a $60 game. A publisher who has a good to average game will still be lucky to get $49 in the next generation, he predicts. Some enterprising publishers may come up with entirely new business models for next-gen games, with the introduction of services like the upcoming Xbox Marketplace, which will allow users to buy new game levels and items online for a small fee. Publishers could conceivably charge less upfront, make additional revenue through microtransactions. As in, you pay $40 for Halo 3 in the box, but then ante up another $20 for a flamethrower and bonus maps. So, yeah, this conversation has been going on for a long, long time, folks. It's important to remember when we're talking about these debates about $70 games and special editions and all that kind of stuff, to realize that this kind of debate has been going on for a long, long time. And well, you know, there is very real economic reason to not want $70 games. We have to realize that we can't dismiss that by talking about how Super Nintendo games were $80 or $90 at times. The economy and the costs of making these things have changed over the years, but it is really interesting to look back to 2005 and realize that even at that point, they were thinking in the industry that they were going to be moving to that $70 model. We have seen over the last almost 20 years that it has stayed pretty stable in that $60 territory, but exactly as they predicted right at the very beginning of the internet age for games, that things like DLC and microtransactions were going to balloon the effective price of a game over time, and it certainly has. I mean, it's not unusual if you really look at your wallet or your PlayStation account, for example, to see that while you may have spent $60 on that Call of Duty game, you probably spent $20 or $30 twice or three times on DLC for that Call of Duty game, or a battle pass mechanic of some kind, which raises the overall price of that game far beyond $70. For some of these games that you're spending, you may spend, I remember, for example, I spent just a little over $100 on the Gran Turismo 7 Deluxe Edition, which really wasn't all that deluxe. It just came with a steel case and a little bit of DLC, a couple of free cars, which were great at the time. But what do you guys think about this conversation, the $70 games conversation? Do you think $70 is unreasonable for a video game in 2023? Looking back at 2005, when they were expecting $70 to hit at any given time? Let me know down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Stay classy.